Okay, everything is recording, and then I'm going to share my screen. Okay, everyone. So welcome to this very special heart gathering for baboons. I'll just run through a little bit about what I'm going to be, what to expect really today. And I'm going to start off with our normal connecting and grounding meditation, just to get everyone on the same wavelength. Then I'm going to run through just a brief summary of what's actually happening with the baboons, focusing mainly on the baboons in Cape Town. So that's a real strong issue at the moment. But we're working with heart for baboons in general in South Africa as well. And then we're going to do the heart work. So I will be guiding you into a heart meditation, and then you will will be open to receiving any information or guidance from the baboons that we're working with. And then I guide us into the visioning, the manifesting, the co-creating, the positive transformation. And this is just the start of the process really with this group of people. So thank you really for joining us. It really means a lot. Okay. So if everyone is feeling comfortable, I'm going to keep this beautiful image on the screen of, I think it's the Seaforth troop in Simonstown walking up the cliff face, and beautiful photo taken by Irina Mink, who's a resident of Simonstown. So you can either rest your eyes on this beautiful image, the baboons being wild and free, or you can close your eyes. Let's focus on your breath. Focus on my voice. Feel your feet firmly on the ground, the solid ground beneath you. Feel the support of Mother Earth in every way as she holds you in her embrace. Feel yourself relax into her, into the earth. As you breathe, feel your mind, your thoughts stilling, and bring your focus down to your heart space, that center of your chest. That space is the root of our intuition, our inner knowledge, our emotions. Just feel your heart space. And as you feel your heart, breathe in the unconditional love of Mother Nature. Breathe that into your heart, as if your heart is a set of lungs. And as you breathe in that rose gold light, you might visualize it as just that feeling of pure, beautiful, divine love of Mother Nature, filling your heart space, cleaning and clearing anything that is feeling heavy. that is feeling painful, that is aching. Just for this moment, and while we are together in this gathering, feel that ache transform, that heaviness transform into a lightness of being. And your next deep breath, become aware of your own love for Mother Nature and all her beings. The reason why you have joined this gathering, heard the call, and answered it. That love that you have for all of nature. And as we feel that love, that peace in our hearts, imagine a field of love emanating from our heart space, our heart centers, and shining out, expanding this field throughout our body, beyond the boundaries of our bodies. This field of love is the field of connection, the field of communication. This is where we connect with all that is, where there's no separation. Only love exists here. Now expand that field even more beyond your physical body into the environment that you're sitting in. And expand it even more beyond the walls if you're sitting in a structure. Into the gardens, into the fields, into the streets. Into the lands, into the waters. Down all the way across the continents. To the sea lines. The shore. Across the oceans. To the depths of the oceans. Across the continents, to the other worlds. There is no limit to this expansion. And as we be in this heart field, feel the connection that you have with everyone else that are gathered here today. And all beings, all of nature's beings. And we'll feel safe in this field of unconditional love, nature's love, divine love. And let us stay in this heart field. As we open up this gathering, we stay grounded and connected to Mother Earth as we do the work, as we listen to the baboons. We ask for clear guidance during our time together, and we invite the baboon ancestors, the elders, the wisdom keepers, to be with us in this field, to help us co-create the positive transformation that we are all seeking. Another deep breath in. Become aware of your body. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes and come back into this gathering with me. Let's just wait a moment to just feel grounded and connected as we start working with these beloved cousins of ours. Okay, so just to orientate everyone, I thought I'd show these maps. Of course, this is South Africa, which we're talking about. And the baboon troops that we are focusing on in a place, mainly the photographs that I'm going to be showing, are all baboons that are based in Simonstown. This is where this little gold heart is. Part of the Table Mountain range on the Cape Peninsula in Cape Town. So there's very, very, very little sticky out bit at the very end of Africa. This area here is home to a number of baboon troops. And all the way along the coast, there are troops of baboons that people have found challenging, and some are trying to live with harmoniously, and some are really just wanting to get rid of them. And it's been an ongoing problem throughout South Africa. If you look at the map, the other side of the screen, where the other heart is, this is where Simon and I are based, in a place called Wilderness. And we have our own little family that comes to visit. Unfortunately, they're not under as much threat as the Simontown's baboons. And I just want to share with you today, as I was preparing for this meeting, the whole family came to visit, and they haven't been doing that very often lately. But we had them here for it was over 2 hours that they spent playing and running across the roof, and really just showing that they were here in support of, it felt like they were here in support of our work today. Okay. I don't want to go into too much detail because the focus is really on the heart work and to transform this situation that we're finding ourselves in, or the baboons are finding themselves in, and a lot of the baboon people, the people who love baboons, are at a place right now where many are feeling that there's no way to go because decisions have been made to remove a certain number of baboons off the peninsula. Some of them the plan is that the authorities want to kill many of them, and a small amount of them, 1 or 2 families, they say they want to basically build a sanctuary for them, but the sanctuary is literally a 1.5 hectare camp, a prison on the edge of the Cape Point National Park. These are wild baboons, and some people say they're not wild baboons anymore because, as you can see on this amazing photograph, it was taken probably maybe a year ago, but sometime this year, I think. In Simonstown, this is a classic little street in Simonstown. We've got the Save Our Baboons banner there, but look at these little silhouettes here are actually real live baboons walking around the streets, climbing on the buildings. And that is what they do regularly. They have found relative safety in the streets of Simonstown. They come and look for the easy food, and sometimes they even sleep on the rooftops because they find it safer there for some reason than up on the mountainside, which is behind all these buildings. So it's a very strange situation, and many people, tourists, love it, seeing the baboons. You know, where on earth in the world can you see wild animals walking down the streets? A lot of residents also love them and enjoy having them around. just like I do when when they come, and I know how to behave when baboons are around. I make sure that the doors are closed and any food that's inside the house is hidden. All the very practical steps that I've learnt for over the years with living with baboons. But many people, really, the ones that shout the loudest are scared of baboons. They don't want them around. They feel threatened. They're angry. They feel like the baboons are breaking in and stealing their food and making life very unpleasant. So they have shouted the loudest, and the authorities really have not done a lot to stop the situation. I've been involved with baboons for the last 20 years, at least over 20 years in Cape Town. And the solutions are always the same, and they've been the same for the last 20 years. Manage waste, educate people, help the baboons to be more understood. There's so many various solutions that could have resulted in a better, peaceful coexistence. The baboons do, although they're in the streets like that, they do go up on the mountains, and they live very well with us. They're part of they live with us. This amazing picture as well, again by Irina. She's a Harley rider, and this is her motorbike, and she is sharing the space with one of the Simonstown baboons, who also would love to look out on the mountainside and like to be at the seaside. Here's a mom and baby, just to get a feel for how their daily lives are. This particular picture was an artist who decided to make a point, but like a Banksy art in England, when the baboons this plan was being touted that the baboons were all going to be removed, and removed means being killed, in real terms, killed or put in prison, as we now know. And this very poignant photograph was big male of the troop leaning his head against this picture, and it kind of went viral around South Africa. The baboons know what's going on. They know they're under threat, and they're at a loss. I really believe that they are at a loss, because they're just being baboons, and they really mirror the human state often. When humans are scared and aggressive and violent towards them, they become scared, aggressive, and violent. Like many wild animals, when you target an animal, when you threaten their lives, they are scared, and the brave ones might, instead of running away, they might actually stand their ground and seem to be aggressive. And in my experience, baboons are probably the least aggressive big mammal with big teeth that I have come across. They would rather retreat than attack. We all know this. People who know baboons and love baboons are not scared of them, even though they look quite scary. We have great respect for them, but we understand them, and we can learn to live with them, and many people do. Again, this is Irina she lives at the top of the mountain, and this was a visitor from, I think, about 5 days ago, from the troop, one of the troops that are being threatened to be imprisoned. And just look at his face, just look at him. And she's devastated, and many of the residents in Simonstown are devastated by these decisions that the authorities are making. Without proper consultation, a lot of the baboon groups have obviously been speaking out against it, writing letters to the authorities. WAPSA, the Wildlife Animal Protection Forum, of South Africa that I am part of has put out a statement and written to the authorities calling for a cease and desist of these plans. There hasn't been any response that I know of, and they are planning to roll this out in February next year. So only 2 months. So on a physical level, we've done a lot. We've really, I believe that all the groups in all their different ways, and many of them are at loggerheads with each other. Not everyone's on the same page. Some of the groups even think that the sanctuary is a good idea. That is, it's better than them being killed. Yeah, there's huge differences of opinion. And it's very difficult because the baboon people who are supposed to be supporting each other are not supporting each other. There's small groups supporting each other, and then bigger groups trying to negotiate with the authorities. It's a mess, to be honest. And so I really felt that a heart gathering could assist in easing this situation. And however it turns out, whatever, we always want the best possible outcome, the highest possible outcome. That's for the highest good of all. And that is what we are working towards today. I'm just going to run through these photographs. This was another beautiful, expressive photograph. I'd like to introduce you to Martello. So I think some of you may know Simonstown and may have even seen him walking the streets. He's the leader of one of the main troops, families, and he takes his role very seriously. He's a very, very good father, grandfather, uncle. He's one of the leaders of the troop, and he leads together with a couple of other big males. He walks the streets of Simonstown. This is the suburbs on the top of the mountain, which he walks through quite regularly. There was a beautiful community program with monitors that were using observation and sort of, don't want to say herding techniques because the people get upset if you think you're herding baboons, but they would literally make sure that the baboons weren't coming into the houses as best they can. When there was a shift in management and these plans started being made, those community projects, it was for this troop and another troop in Constantia, which is more inland, were really halted, and it was brought into a new management system where they are managed with paintball guns and aggression and lethal management, where some of the alpha males, or the leaders, as I prefer to say, are killed. You can see this big this mummy with her baby drinking. You can see she's very overweight because of all the food, the waste that they have access to in the streets of Simonstown, and they don't have. They prefer to have the easy food, the unhealthy human food, as opposed to the really nutritious food on the mountainside, which actually is quite scarce because there's been a huge amount of fires, there's been a huge amount of drought. The nutrition on the mountain, the water access on the mountain isn't as good as it used to be. So that is another reason why they are coming into the cities. So this is Martello, and I'm going to ask us that we all connect and communicate with him. I'm going to guide you in it, but before I do, I'm wondering just going to stop my share for a little bit. I'm wondering if there's any burning questions right now, or if we should just go straight to the heart work. If there's any burning questions, maybe just write something in the chat. Otherwise, we can just start with the heart work, and then we can have time for questions afterwards. Simon, yes.
Yeah, I mean, what you've said is all very truthful and with emotion as well. Um, we spoke earlier today, and I was astonished because in the overall context of the entire peninsula, there's about 6 or 7 troops, and they're going to take out 4 of them. They're going to take out 2/3 of them. So that's 60 or 80 baboons out of 100, 120. It's a huge amount. And they're either going to be euthanized or they're going to pick 20 of them and put them in a 1.5 hectare cage. And I'm not saying this to be even more emotional. It's the facts of the matter. Now, the other fact is that we know from working with baboons for 20 odd years, if you take out a troop of baboons, it leaves a hole. That hole will be filled by other baboons moving into that area. Where do those other baboons come from? They might come from out of the area, or the existing baboons reproduce quicker to fill that hole. So the whole idea of this concept is a knee-jerk reaction to the noisy people, simply to alleviate the political concerns. And I'm sure there's a lot more to it than that, but it's senseless. And the interrelationships between people protesting against this has been divided by the authorities. So nothing seems to be working in practical sense, which is why the heart work, where the heart work comes in, because the actual practical work isn't actually having meaningful effects at the moment. And so what isn't happening enough is the heart work, which is what we're doing, I believe, is the intention for tonight to start the process and to continue it thereafter if people are so inclined. But it's a huge, serious issue, which we're hoping to address in a different way. Is that the case, Winter? Would that sum it up accurately as well?
Yes, and there is so much to it. There's 20 years of um, trying to find a solution, offering solutions. It's a very, very complex issue. If you do want to know more, if you just Google baboons Simonstown or baboons Cape Peninsula, you will find reams and reams of information about it. You don't necessarily need to do that to be able to understand the situation or to do the heart work. We can feel what's going on, and we can see the solution. And hopefully the baboons will show us the solution. And if we go into our hearts and if we connect with Martello, I've worked with him a little bit. I have worked with him in the past before. I've worked with him when um, a green group Simonstown was over the December holidays. His family wanted to go down to the beach, and they were going down to the beach where all the humans were also, and everyone was freaking out. And Green Group Simonstown said, please, can we just ask him to take his family to another place where there's no, up on the mountain. Everyone thought that it would be better for them up on the mountain. But I communicated with him and explained the situation and really urged and did the heart work and worked with our founding Heart Pride members to ask him to move away from the humans. He didn't go up on the mountain, but he moved to a place on the rocks and the beach where the humans weren't. So they moved quickly. He responds so well to the communication. Unfortunately, there's not enough communicators to work consistently with the people on the ground, and the residents don't know about communication, or they don't believe in it, and they just work on the fear. So to me, that it's the human attitude that really needs to shift. We've been saying this for years and years. If humans can shift their mindset, their heart set, then we will start achieving this vision of harmonious coexistence. At the moment, there's such fragmentation, and I really believe the heart work can start making a big difference. So some of you might be new to the heart work. Don't worry. And some of you might not know about or not feel that they can communicate effectively. Don't worry. Just follow my words, follow the feelings, the emotion, become aware of everything that you see and feel. If you've got a notebook, write it down. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to lead you in to I'm going to lead you into the heart meditation. We've already done the preparation in the beginning, which was creating that heart field of connection. And then I'm just going to lead you in, and then we're going to go quiet for a little while, a few minutes. It might not be long enough, but we'll just see what comes in those few minutes. And then I'm going to speak into the visualization that I have, that is coming to me. And then as we close, we'll be able to share some of the information, and you can ask questions then as well. So this really is just the start of, we really are asking for a miracle. Not today, not with this little group, but overall, we're asking that the authorities stop with this seemingly ludicrous plan, and start listening to the baboons and start understanding what is really needed for true conservation. I posted something on my Instagram, and I think it was on Facebook as well today, a little reel by Adam Cruz, who's an investigative environmental journalist, and he speaks about what true conservation is in these times. So if you have a moment to look at it, please do, because that is what the vision is, what he's speaking from a very practical, academic, environmental, heart perspective. It is what we are all asking for. Okay. So I'm going to put Martello's Martello's picture up, and I'll share the link afterwards. Okay, let's focus on the heart work now. Oh, okay, so I know you've been listening to my words and thinking. So let's move back into that center of the heart field, where we feel our feet firmly on the ground of Mother Earth. And at the same time, we feel the connection to all that is. And if you rest your eyes gently on Martello's eyes, as you see him gazing up, we ask permission to be with him, to communicate with him at this time. We ask for his guidance. We ask him and his family and even the mountain range and the oceans to show us how this could look, how this transformation can start. Move into your heart. Be open. Be aware of any image, any word, any feeling that comes to you. And we give thanks for his presence with us as we move into silent communication with him. We smell the fynbos on the mountainside, the fragrant medicinal plants thriving with the care of humans. See us as one. See us as the gardeners, as the landscape artists, as we move along the mountainside. See us at peace. See us roaming freely to do the work we need to do. See the humans in their shelters, creating safe spaces for us, boundaries that are natural. A reciprocal relationship of giving and receiving. See a space where the human beings take care of what is sacred. That protect their sacred space as we protect ours. Knowing that the sacred space is for all of us. Let us see the flow, the movement, the access of our families to the seaside, to forage amongst the rocks, up to the waterfall, to the green spaces. Let us see the fear transformed, the fear released into the sun, the source. All those unnecessary fears, the fears that have been instilled by humans who want to control and have power over nature. See that transformed and dispersed and dissolved. See the healers of the land become strong again. The healers who come in all forms. The healers who are not only in human form, but in the more than human form, the other animal beings that reside in the spaces between the humans and above the humans and below the humans and around the humans. Let us all be able to live together. Let us see this and feel this and experience this in the very cells of our bodies as we human beings, like-hearted human beings, gather in support of the other beings at this time. Let us see the human beings start to work together to find a kind solution, a peaceful solution, one that assists all beings to thrive in this time on this planet. And we ask this for all beings all over the globe as we focus on this issue in Simonstown, this problem that the baboons, our beloved cousins, are facing with the humans who love them, highlighting the issues that are around the world. Let us see the transformation start amplifying at a pace that is miraculous. Feel it, see it, and experience it. And so it is. Just take some deep breaths as we give thanks to Martello and his family. And I ask you to stay in this heart field with this visioning. As we see and feel how it could be. And as we see and feel it in such detail, we can know it in our very bones. We know it in our soul, in our essence, that this is possible. Once we've seen that vision and felt it in our hearts, release it. Release it to the universe. Release it to Mother Nature to start the creation process, the co-creation. Release it to that creative force so that it can now manifest in physical form. And be in the present moment at all times. If you want to assist on a physical level, be open, be aware of what is needed. Listen to your intuition, listen to your heart. When you feel the call to action, take action. You will know when it is time to speak out. You will know when it is time to go into this heart space of prayer and connection and communication and co-creation. Whenever you're feeling despaired, depressed, pained by the situation, step into this heart field and feel the possibilities. Remember Mother Nature's support. Remember that in this heart field we are connected, we are aligned with the creative force. And we stand beside our beloved baboon friends, family, and all the rest of nature. When you're ready, just become aware of your physical body once more. And let us come back together to this human and more than human gathering as I feel the baboons and the others with us. I give thanks. Okay, everybody. I would love to hear from you in the chat if anyone feels called to share what they received. So, Rosemary, the baboon in the photo is Martello. Good Italian name, Martello. Nikki, you've got your hand up. Would you like to share?
Thank you so much.
Are
Please
you able to put your
excuse.
Are you
I'm
able to put your
sitting.
camera on?
I can. I'm just sitting. Honestly, I'm in my dressing gown, beautiful people. um, I'm just so blessed to be with you all and share that time. And thank you so much for holding that in such a sacred way. I just had this very clear sense that once again, these fantastic beings are really doing their best to awaken us as humans to come together, and that actually this is it feels like a strong call to action to see
Oh, Nikki, we're losing you. I don't know if it's
the
maybe if we can put our cameras off, it might.
that are there. They're just like waiting the Cape area to realize, and it's almost like we just got a door.
Oh dear, I think Nikki's dropped off. She's also in the garden route. So, oh, there you are. Are you there, Nikki? Sorry, we we
Sorry,
lost you for a bit.
I'll use the opportunity to summarize and just say I feel like it's the appropriate call now. You know, like the baboon's call, and that call seems so distinct. Like it's time for those that have voices, for those that can't be heard, to make the call to action, to see who else is rising. Like there's a new tide of catalysts of change, and they've got to rise now. We've got to do this together. That's what it
Mm,
feels like. Yeah.
absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Nix. Okay, Viv, you've got your hand up, and then I think Susanka.
Yeah, just to say, I got a lot of what you said, Winter, anyway, but the first words that came in was love and respect. They're saying, if you can't love and respect yourselves, how can you love and respect us? And also, if there's any meetings, read out their words that they are saying and ask people to listen with their hearts
Mm,
because the words will speak for themselves. That's just a
absolutely.
little bit more, but there's
Th-
loads more, but I'll just say that. Okay.
Thanks, Viv. Thank you. Susanka, and then Rosemary, and then Cindy.
So Winter, I got a lot of sadness from Martello about the situation. Um, and it's a frustration because I get the feeling that he's saying the humans and us, we are not on the same wavelength. And it's important to talk the same language so that we can meet in, in the communication. And there's a feeling of great education needs to happen to the human species back into the laws of nature, back into what makes co-creation and cohabitation possible. And you know, humans have a lot of laws, but the natural laws, the laws of nature, are the ones that are going to work. And it's about honoring each other's way of life. It's not just about you know, the humans understanding the baboons, but also the baboons understanding the humans. And also, I got a strong feeling that there's no ownership in nature, not like we humans feel entitled to remove anything in our area that is bothering us. There is a lot more. It's not about, for us, the frustration that he's feeling is not happening for the greatest good of everyone, which is like a law of nature where everyone takes just what they need, and the mama, she provides. But I also got a strong message that he cannot ask his family to be other than they truly are.
Absolutely.
And that's where a lot of the sadness lies, is that they have to stay true to themselves. And then I got it's like an interesting thing. It was almost like I was thinking that for the practical purposes, there's like a space where there can be some kind of exchange, so that the baboons don't feel the need to eat like junk food, but to have like almost not a garden of hope, but a place of hope where there's an alternative to coming into the village, which is more which is healthier, like so maybe planting veggies, or I don't know how it's going to work, but I got this picture of where the humans need to come to the party. It's like the humans need to find beautiful solutions for this problem. And in that endeavor, the education will happen, and they'll be in the heart space. And so when I was giving it over to the mama to do with, I really, really held space for the humans to be really, really creative in this process, and to meet the baboons in nature, because we are also nature, and we need to remember that. We need to remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Azanka. Thank you. Rosemary.
Hello. So what was coming to me was that the people who are triggered and making these decisions are people who they haven't received the care and love in their own life to know how to respect other beings well. And so I'm hearing that sending them the love for their own awakening, so that they can be more respectful and open to allowing the baboons to have their freedom in their life. To reach them is through their own children. That if we can, I'm sure it's being done in some way, but I was thinking even telepathically, we can talk to other humans as well. And if there's a way to inform the youth, the teenagers, and the children, because they're the ones, in this day and age, typically, that are doing a lot of the work and a lot of the shifting is happening. If they can be made aware of the situation, and also be taught how energy works, that in this situation, energy is matching energy. So the people who are so upset and so angry and retaliating against these baboons are creating a tense situation, because that's how the baboons are responding in some situations. So really about us beginning to give more energy and attention to the young people and teaching them how energy works. And that when they understand that, they can bring a deeper understanding to their relatives and their elders, or at least an energy, a new type of energy that can help to shift the energy. And also, sorry, did you want to say something?
No, I was just going to say thank you. I thought you'd finished.
Well, one more thing was also about that same idea that we just heard about sharing with the baboons in some way, giving them an alternative, like they do with the orangutans and some of the wild places, the sanctuaries where they take food into the wild for them to have so that they have what they need because there's not enough there.
Mm.
So they can get
Thank-
to a better place of
Yeah.
not coming to town.
Okay. Thank you, Rosemary. I'm just going to move on to Cindy and then Barbara and then Bridget, I think. I hope I'm getting it in the right order. Sorry if I'm not, but Cindy, yes.
Yeah, thank you. I had a really elderly being come in, not on the earth plane. Shaped like a baboon, but very, very old, very elderly. Like a wisdom keeper sort of energy. Um, and it was a masculine energy, and he says that it's all in nature's principles and alignment. With all gains, there are sacrifices. Some of us are willing to be that sacrifice. He said the humans will realize that caging us is caging themselves as we are all connected. Some of us are willing to teach that. Um, he said change will not come through. He didn't use government or authorities, but like the higher uh, top down. He kept going like this. Change comes through understanding us, and I think Zuzanka mentioned about something about the food, and he was talking about putting food out around the village to keep us out from the village or something like this. Something about food somewhere else. Um, and then he invited for understanding, and this connects back to, I'm sorry, the lady who was just speaking. Invite the children to our mountain so they can connect with us on a different level. And he finished by saying, our work is processing / purifying density, and we accept that work. And that's where he stepped back.
Mm. Wonderful. Thank you so much, Cindy. Thank you. Barbara? Oh, Barbara, you're muted.
Sorry. I got a lot of what everyone else was saying, including you, Winter, with that beautiful message. And I'd like to just share some of what I wrote that's easiest for me. We don't hate humans, but there are some who hate us. We mean no harm. We are hungry and thirsty and scared with no place to go. I see us living on our own, not in the middle of human habitation, but occasionally connecting with humans for the benefit of us all. Establish a sanctuary space far from town with enough land to support us. We will take care of our own population, meaning they know what to do to take care of themselves and they don't need a whole lot of interference. There needs to be a communal effort to educate people about who we are. We will participate by some of us showing ourselves as loving beings, not as the mischievous or dangerous ones people have imagined us to be. And I got the sense that there are some who could serve as ambassadors when people go and educate the people living nearby, especially children, like some people have mentioned. But there would be baboons that could work with certain people to help with that education process. So that's what I got.
Thanks. Thank you, Barbara. Bridget, your hands up.
Yes. So just really reiterating what everybody else has felt into. This is such a golden opportunity in so many ways for solidarity. And one of the things that was really clear to me was the idea of sacred food drops, similar to the feeling in Bali where offerings are made to help the insects change their pheromonal route and go around the outside of the buildings. It's working into they're asking us to work into the interrelational spaces, to create in those spaces, the spaces between. And I saw people protesting. I saw people getting in the way of this proposed idea in a way that's really direct, and it's all about this golden opportunity of solidarity working together. Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Thanks, Bridget. I'm just going to put you get my video back for a bit. So amazing, and there's all these messages in the chat as well, and I'm not going to have time to go through. A lot of the suggestions that have come through on a very practical suggestions, and many of the suggestions that have already been offered as solutions. So the solutions are there, the planting the gardens, the food in the wild. There's been lots of plans of how this can work. Every solution has not been brought onto the table. It's been pushed aside by the authorities. So and this has been over 20 years. So this is not a new situation. This has been happening 25 years, the same situation, the same problems. The problem is worse because there's so many more people living on the mountains now than there were 25 years ago. So much development. So what I want to suggest to people is, rather than focusing on what people could do, focus on the transformation of the human hearts, the decision makers. Let us see that miracle. Bridget, I'm sure there will be protests. There have already been a lot of protests when this was first announced. It was the 121 baboons were going to be killed. And then they changed it to this kind of sanctuary, some euthanized. It's been a whole story that has been created around this, a very kind of fairy tale story sometimes that feels like, to get people on board. But really, I feel if people can go away this evening, but or today, I should say, working with this heart energy to transform the human hearts of the decision makers so that, things can open up, and whatever it takes to transform those, we don't know. Mother Nature has her own way of working and of creating miracles. I don't feel it's necessarily just up to us to take action. Mother Nature may take action as well. We don't know. We don't know what's going to happen because we are not the all-seeing, all-being beings. We have our own ideas and we get some information from nature intuitively. The important thing is that transformation happens for the highest good of all beings, and maybe that's for the human beings, and maybe there will be deaths, maybe there will be lives lost, and we don't know what's going to happen, but we are seeing a positive change, and that may not happen immediately. but it may happen, the transformation, we might see it coming in the next 10 years. Hopefully it's shorter than that. Hopefully it's quicker than that. But let us hold that image of that transformation, hold it and release it at the same time, which is always the tricky bit when I'm trying to explain to people how this heart work works for me. So what I'm going to do, I will post the replay. I'll let everybody have access to the replay, but I will also have, share all the chats and the other sharing, and there will be space where you can also share any more information, and maybe we can keep this as a bit of an active group. Perhaps this could be an active heart space where we meet again in January. So let's see how it goes. I'm just starting my video again. Thank you. It was all a little bit unstable there. So how does that feel to everyone? To continue in this heart field, this space for the baboons. And I'll try, well, there's so much going on for everybody, but we'll, keep this heart field open for Marcello and his family. I'll see if I can keep you posted on any developments, and I'll just call a heart gathering whenever the feeling is needed, and show up if you can. And that's what it is all about, is being present, listening in that heart field, releasing our fear of what could happen, to our joy of what could happen, the positive possibilities. Okay, so let's keep positive and see this transformation, see this miraculous development of the situation. Okay. Thank you, everyone, and thank you for staying a little bit longer. We ran over by 15 minutes, but it was well worth it. I really look forward to gathering again and to hearing others. If you have more information that you want to share, please, I'll show you where we can. Also on Zoom, there's, if we keep it as an open chat, if you in your Zoom workplace, you'll find meeting chat, and you'll be able to see the meetings, the chat, and you'll be able to add to it. So it's a continuous chat that we can keep on checking in on that. So please feel free to continue this chat even when we finished this meeting. You are able to do that. Okay. Wonderful, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us, and yeah, very special to have you all here with us.
So much love.
So much love, Nikki. Thank you. So much love to all of you. And I've seen, some very special people here. So thank you. And all of you that are committed to this work and to showing up at all times and really being there for nature and with nature. Thank you, everybody.